That's why we designed the fund, which allows people to compound their returns, which you can't do in a syndication. And it's also liquid, so people can get their money back whenever they want. So that's what I really love about the fund that we created, because I took a lot of what I'd learned in running small onesie twosie deals, and I said, okay, how do I 10x this? And so now we run a multi-million-dollar fund that allows people to do just that, and the money just goes into short-term bridge deals.
So let's shift into one of the funds that you have. It sounds like it's a lending fund, and tell us a little bit more about that, what that looks like, and what you're lending to, who you're lending to, and what kind of returns there are.
Well, what's interesting, the reason I started this fund is that, and I talk about it in my book, is that when I first got started, I was borrowing, money from investors, onesie twosie. I would borrow some money and do a fix and flip, or borrow some money and do the BRRRR strategy, where you buy a property, renovate it, rent it out, refinance, repeat. And I would use investor capital, typically their self-directed IRA, because that is the best vehicle to put into a private loan. We can circle back to that if you like. But we would take those self-directed IRAs and put it into short-term private loans. And the investor would put, let's say, for example, 100K into a deal. And I would make them 10K through interest on the deal and everything like that. And then they would make their 10K back. And then they had 110K tax deferred through their IRA vehicle, and they could take the 110 and put it into the next thing that I had, and then recycle it over and over and over and over again. And before you knew it, they have a much larger snowball that they were pushing up the hill, right? Different in cash, which is where things like DSTs get involved with cash investors and things like that. It's a different tax consequence and different conversation that comes into it. But that IRA investor, when they invest in a multifamily syndication, I looked at it and I said, I'd love to find a way to help these folks, make short-term gains on their money so that they can recycle it over and over and over again, as you would through an IRA vehicle, and that, which is hard to do in a syndication. So that's why we designed the fund, which allows people to compound their returns, which you can't do in a syndication. And it's also liquid, so people can get their money back whenever they want. So that's what I really love about the fund that we created, because I took a lot of what I'd learned in running small onesie twosie deals, and I said, okay, how do I 10x this? And so now we run a multi-million-dollar fund that allows people to do just that, and the money just goes into short-term bridge deals, a la AKA hard money. And it's just a 3 to 6 month turnaround, and the money comes in and out, and as long as you're able to keep your finger on the pulse for the money, investors can make a great return, and they can also enjoy the benefits of compounding their money as we grow.
Absolutely. I love that. But I feel like it's a great hybrid with stock market or even T-bills or stuff where people want some liquidity.